Post-solstice, after Sankaranti, the first full moon day is called as Thaipusam. That which brings you victory, he got the fame of being the greatest warrior ever. Absolutely failed in his mission, but he is a success for us. Is referred to as Thaipusam in the Tamil culture, considered to be the most effervescent of the various spiritual events that this culture is full of. Literally, every day of the 365 days are marked for different aspects of life. But this day, which is the first Purnami or the full moon day, post-solstice, after Sankaranti, the first full moon day is called as Thaipusam. Largely in the country, in the larger part of the country, it is known as the Dhanya Purnami. Dhanya means it is a full moon of fulfillment. In many ways, because of the nature of what happens on this planet in relationship with the sun, this is considered to be the most generous full moon of the year. When I say generous, one who knows how to get the best out of life, one who is seeing how to make this life in the best possible way. One will attain to maximum amount of… or one will reap maximum harvest at this time. So it's called as Dhanya Purnami, the full moon of fulfillment. Moon has already come up in a glorious way. There are many things connected with this. This is considered also in southern India largely. For ages, people always saw this as a day to develop instruments of victory, that which brings you victory, success. In material world, in the emotional world, and in the spiritual world. This is the day when one horns their instruments, which will bring success or victory in these different dimensions. The legend goes out to say that it is on this day that Parvati gave the veil or the spear to Skanda, who is known as Muruga in the south. He is Skanda, he is Kumara, he is Subramanya and he is Muruga. Different geographies called him differently, but started as Skanda. So with this instrument or with this weapon of a spear, he got the fame of being the greatest warrior ever. But across the subcontinent, it is said he went beyond the present borders of what we call as Bharat, because his name reverberated in the Persian culture as Iskandar. Went further north up into Central Asia and become Iskandar. And even today the word slightly mispronounced is used as Sikandar. Somebody who is victorious over everybody, who becomes an emperor of all the rulers, but never held a kingdom. He only fought battles because he was committed to annihilate injustice. The boy was angry, and when somebody of immense capabilities and hugely blessed becomes angry, so it happened, and wherever he thought there is injustice, he started killing. Well, literally his adolescence and youth, as a youth, he largely killed people. Don't know how many, but across the subcontinent he did, and he also went slightly out. Then he realized what is justice and what is injustice is not always an absolute. It's a question of perspective most of the time. And he realized that somewhere deep inside, the fury of who he was is seeking revenge in the form of justice. When you go after somebody thinking you will serve justice, they will only experience it as revenge. So I'm not trying to say there is no justice at all, but there isn't. So that is Kanda's story, but he got his weapon of instrument, according to the legend, on this day. That is why he was so successful in his mission. Well, ultimately he came to realization that his mission was not right, but that is also considered victory in this culture. Anywhere else, he would be rated as a failure because he failed in his mission. But in this culture, which is not of straight lines, we see this as a success because he realized in his activity in the world he failed, but he realized we hold that as the greatest success, not material things. If he had listed this many victories and if his mission was complete, only then an intellectually constipated society would consider him a success. But here, he failed, absolutely failed in his mission, but he is a success for us. This is a day which is considered as the best day to start one's pilgrimage. Pilgrimage always meant a journey in which you'll obliterate yourself. Once again, our idea of victory is we are obliterated. Our idea of victory is not piling up people and sitting on top of their heads. Our idea of victory is to obliterate ourselves, to dissolve ourselves, because this is a land of devotion. The object of devotion is only dissolution. We may use another object as a means to dissolve, but the fundamental objective is to dissolve. Well, does it mean to say this is a culture committed to failure? No. Because within the framework of one's intellect, if one sits there, one sits here, one sits here, you would think he is low, this is medium, this is high. But we always understood in this culture the planet is round and it's spinning. Your ideas of what is low, what is medium, what is high, you're totally messed up in your head. You don't have a larger perspective of life. You're counting the steps that you climb. Because you're horribly identified with a little bit of earth that you gathered in the form of your flesh and bone. Because of that, your perspective is all messed up. This is a day where people start a pilgrimage, particularly in Tamil Nadu. Because pilgrimage means we have started the process to dissolve ourselves, wear ourselves down in every possible way. People walk hundreds of miles. There is still a vibrant culture of pilgrimage here, that people walk hundreds of miles to get to generally to the Murugan temple in Tamil Nadu, but various kinds happening across other… Because according to the position of the planet, we have recognized whatever we do within ourselves for our inner well-being finds results much more easily during this time. As I said, this is a generous or a benevolent time.
The genetic material in your system, it will get weaker. The moment you make the next generation less than who we are, we have committed a crime against humanity. We always believe once you have land, it is for generations. Well, it is not so right now. Land may become a liability if we don't take care of the soil. Land will not be an asset. It will be a terrible liability if you do not take care of the soil. There is enough scientific study to today tell you, your body and my body, how strong it is, not just of muscular strength, essential strength in the body of our existence. This is determined by the kind of soil not only that you eat from, the kind of soil that you walk upon. The genetic material in your system, it will get weaker. If the soil gets weak, there is substantial study to suggest this. Now, what we are talking about is making the next generation less than who we are. The moment you make the next generation less than who we are, we have committed a crime against humanity. Next generation should be one step ahead of us, not behind us. But this is what we are doing, because once the soil becomes weak, the very genetic material becomes weaker than the way it is. The way it was given to us by our parents, we are not passing that on, because we are walking and living on a soil which doesn't have strength, because this body is just the soil that we walk upon, isn't it? So, problems, everybody generally knows what is the problem. Right now you have land, you have no trees, you have no animals. How will the organic material go into it? The only two ways is the leaf of the tree and the waste of the animals. This is the only way you can enrich the land. Domestic animals, there must be enough animals to enrich the soil. Otherwise soil will die. Here in a coffee plantation, you have enough trees always standing because you need the shade for your crops. So there is substantial leaf material falling, there is humus. Please just drive down, not even to Mysore, drive down to K.R. Nagar and just look at the soil, how it is. It's dead or not? Huh? You look at the soil here, walk into the mountains, pick up a fistful of soil, go down to K.R. Nagar or Mysore, pick up a fistful of soil. You will see it's really dead.
So the idea is to bring focus to soil, everybody that you can influence. From 21st of March, for 100 days, we want everybody to talk about soil for 100 days on the planet. So we're bringing together lots of influencers, scientists, political leaders, heads of state, UN agencies, everybody together, so that the world's conversation for 100 days will be about soil. Whatever you write, any message, your email, WhatsApp, TikTok, whatever you do, you must sign off Save Soil. The whole world should talk soil, because if we don't talk soil right now, if we do not shift the narrative in that direction, we will be very sorry. Every responsible scientist in the world is clearly saying by 2045, we will be producing 40% less food than what we are producing right now, and our population will be over 9 billion people, all right? That's not a world you want to live in, where there are food shortages, 40% food shortage and increased population is not a world you want to live in, is not a world in where you want to leave your children. So, we can change that right now by shifting the narrative towards soil. Let's make that happen.